Let's do it. Hello out there. ProgHat here. I'm going to spotlight one of my favorite records. And I'm going to talk about it, a little bit of it. So been wanting to do this video for quite a while. Um, so what happened was, let me just start off a little bit before I get into the talking about this album, sharing a memory. Okay, let's just go ahead and I'm going to be talking about this album. Okay, Women and Children First by Van Halen. Okay, a while back I was depressed for a little while. I didn't really want to talk other than to my wife and my daughter. I just kind of laid low for a little bit. Then, bang, I got back into playing some records. And I started playing, of course, some Van Halen records. My mood swung into, what do you want to call it, 100 miles per hour. I was listening to Fair Warning. Then it was Women and Children First. And I started to think about it. I wanted to come and do this video and talk about this album. It means a lot to me, this record. I love this album. This album has some of Van Halen's great power anthem tunes. And so, let me get into a quick memory here too. I will never forget when my good friend, long back when I was in junior high school, I think my first year or second year in junior high, I don't remember. And back then, we didn't have cell phones. We didn't have no social media. It was basically you showed up at your friend's house with some records. So my friend came over and he shows me this record, not this one, but his copy back then. He goes, Edward, let me play you this record on your turntable. I said, go for it. Okay. And it was on a summer day too when he brought that album over. But when I heard that beginning to the tune, And the Cradle Will Rock, I was locked in. Boom. I was like, yeah. What a great intro to the song. We listened to that record, side one, side two, over and over for almost that entire afternoon. Just hanging out, jamming out, having lunch together, and just, man, the world of Van Halen came to my doorstep in their music. Now, I have heard of Van Halen before that. Songs like Running with the Devil and Dance the Night Away. I didn't know that they had, at that time, this was their third album. I didn't know that. So my friend, he did me a big time favor by bringing that album into my life. And I greatly appreciate that very, very, very much. So, Van Halen, Women and Children, released in 1980, classic hard rock album. There were other good records that came out in 1980, like Rush, Permanent Waves, Pete Townsend, Empty Glass, and Dire Straits, Making Movies. I can go on and on about 1980 had some really, really good albums. Van Halen had two albums, like I said, Van Halen and Van Halen 2. which I feel like established them as a band that had, those first two records had singles and great songs that were played on the radio. It sunk their feet into the rock music world, those first two records. Now, Women and Children is an album that has features of songs too with a lot of tension. So I understand that the band also had tension among themselves with each other. And out of that, this great album came out of all that. I'm not going to talk about in great detail every song, but this album, I love every song of this. Like I said, when this hits the turntable, I play it over and over. But yes, but out of all that tension between the band members, the Van Halen brothers versus Roth, whatever was going on, I don't know all the details, just some, made this great record that is still in print. I feel like this record should be put in a time capsule and sent out in space. We should always have this album in print of Van Halen, Women and Children First. 8 days it took them to make this album. Now, I don't know what involves the 8 days. I don't know if they mean just like laying down all the tracks and vocals. What involved, how, you know, what was really all finished, you know, to make this album. Another article I read was 2 weeks. But think about it. That's pretty darn quick to make this classic rock album, Women and Children First. That doesn't happen very much. I think, and from the Van Halen camp, and I don't remember who was saying this, but the guys, or one of the guys, couldn't understand why it took other bands about a year to make an album. I don't know what took other bands like Steely Dan and some other ones to make records in about a year. But in about 2 weeks, 8 days, here you have this great record that rocks out. And two of the songs, and I believe it's Could This Be Magic and Take Your Whiskey Home, those songs were recorded in 1974 by the band. So those were pretty much, from what I understand, a done deal. But Women and Children First pushed the boundaries of the Van Halen sound. When you hear Eddie, Alex, Michael, and Roth, you recognize it. Your ears raise if you're a Van Halen fan. You're there. You're like, yeah, you have my attention. You recognize. Van Halen pushed themselves and kept on. This album pushed them, and the next album, Fair Warning, Diver Down, 1984, which, you know, people don't like later Van Halen records. I can't help you with that. I can't. I like all the Van Halen albums, even the ones with Hagar, but the center of focus here is Women and Children First. Great musical content, lots of production techniques, electric piano playing through some effects. I always thought for the longest time that was the beginning sound to that And the Cradle Will Rock. I thought it was Eddie doing some guitar technique, but no. The band was going into the territory of bringing in the keyboards, electric piano, running it through a Marshall flanger to get that sound. We know that sound. Ow! Oh yeah, Get Up. What a way to start this first song. Get your attention, get up, you know. Van Halen is coming through your speakers, folks, and they're kicking ass. The whole album is like that. It just takes you on this very cool roller coaster full of tension ride. You don't want it to stop to end. Now, like I said, with the first two records, Van Halen had some great hit singles. And they have some good songs on this album to back up the music. You know, let's talk about a few of them. One of the power anthems, And the Cradle Will Rock, I already talked about. That song just rocks out. Great lyrics. And by the way, from what I read about what Ross said about the lyrics of those songs on this album, were made up on the spot. That's what he said. I don't know. I can believe it. And if that's so, those are some good lyrics to all these songs. The lyrics go with the music. The music goes with the album cover. What is that saying right there? We're here to rock you out. Women and children first. Come on. I'm hyped when I hear this album. What else we got? Everybody Wants Some. Van Halen said that's a hymn to all the folks who are horny out there. Everybody wants some. That's what they said. That's what the song's about. What a kick-ass song that makes you, even if you don't know how to play guitar, you will know how to play air guitar when you hear this song. Romeo Delight. Oh man, that song just has that tension. You're right there, man. You're like in that car going 100 miles per hour down the highway, and you just going for the ride, and you love it. Then we have another one, Loss of Control. Oh man, some of the most lightning sounding guitar playing coming from Eddie Van Halen. Could This Be Magic? There's a very popular female vocalist that does some back-end vocals, and I didn't know this. Could This Be Magic? It's just a nice acoustic, fun song, great harmonies, nice. It sounds like slide guitar playing to me. But the female that does the backing vocals is Nicolette Larson. I hope I said that name correct. Now, she had a big hit with Neil Young's Lotta Love, and she's a great female vocalist. Great song. My favorite, one of my favorites, it's kind of was my theme song for a while till I got straightened out by Mrs. ProgHat, my wife. Take Your Whiskey Home. Yeah, I love that song. That song is dark, heavy guitar playing, bass and drums. It just sounds so great coming through your stereo and seeing the light off your stereo system at night, and you're hearing that song. I mean, I don't know what else, how to put a picture to you, but the stereo is warm. You got the bright lights from the glass coming through, and you got the tune Take Your Whiskey Home. And Fools, just epic guitar playing. I mean, another one with some tension building up, and you're just going along again for the ride. I know I keep saying that a lot, but that's what this album brings to the table. Let's see here. I am looking at notes because I didn't want to forget to say certain things. Now, the early original copies, and this one didn't come. This is a reissue. The Bernie Grundman, or however you say his name, mastered through his soundboard. This sounds awesome. But the early pressings had that poster, that David Lee Roth poster being bound, that S&M look. The guys of Van Halen even fought about that. They didn't want that poster in there. But David Lee Roth took it upon himself to do it, to get the photographer to take the photos. And I believe they did the photo for this. And this. So what do you say? With this album, like I said, Van Halen went to another level and brought some great techniques to these hard rocking songs. Now another favorite song is, and I'm going to read some of the lyrics because I love the lyrics in this song. And I didn't really want this video to go too long. The album closes with this real ballad song, and it sounds like it was done in parts. And because you have the ripping guitar, you have the bass line kicking in, and that's the song in a simple rhyme. I love that song to this day. That song has lyrics that I can resonate and kind of had that experience. And I'll read them to you real quick. I'll read the first two. Well, back in the past when I was treated so coldly, my love life was a darn disgrace. Yeah? Needed someone to love and hold me. That's one of the reasons that I was out of place. So this love, she finally kissed me, had me all worked up inside. I was in love, but Cupid missed me. She upped and left, and I almost died. A young guy cannot see that happen in their young first love happening, you know? And I got to read this next one because, like I said, I love the lyrics in this song. But I was young and I was far from lonely. I've been that way for a long year. Needed a girl to call my one and only. Is that you? Can identify with that. You know, that one girl. Is this going to be the one? Is this going to be the one to love and hold me? Is this going to be the one to break up and break my heart? But that's okay if that happens. I got Women and Children First by Van Halen to get through all that. And this record got me through a lot of stuff. I mean, I can resonate with these songs, and I appreciate my friends showing up. There's my take on Women and Children First. If you're a Van Halen fan, you probably have this in your collection. I even have it on CD, and I think I even have it on cassette. Is it essential an album? Yeah, it is. I really think it is. So let me finish by reading Rest in Peace, Eddie Van Halen, what he said about this album. That the music keeps you on the edge of your seat. Here it is, folks. Van Halen, Women and Children First. Enough said from ProgHat. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know. Leave me a comment. I appreciate it. Thank you all for everything. Appreciate you. See you soon. Bye.